guys, so I'm back with another video like I told you guys. Sorry for the background change. It's just that I'm still trying to figure out where I want to film my videos and stuff. So this is, if you remember, this is the last one from my last story time. If you remember from last time, I told you that I had a lot of ideas, and basically I've noticed how I embarrass myself a lot in public. Like, I don't know, I just like to do that a lot, and I have this list on my phone of all the times that I've embarrassed myself, or at least like the more recent ones that have been happening to me. And so I was like, I should make a video about this because people seem to like these kind of stories. So I'm gonna make like a series. Like I think I want to make this a series depending on how well this video does. But I'm gonna tell you about 3 times that I embarrassed myself in the past couple of years. And the first one is like, I think one of the most embarrassing ones, I think, out of all of them, just because most of these happen at school, but I mean, I'm at school all the time. So the first one is about the time that my teacher made me cry. I am not too big of a crier. Like, I am, but I mean, you have to really hurt my feelings, and like I have to really care about something, or I don't know, like it's not hard for me to cry. It's just if I cry, I'm like really hurt, you know? I'm not gonna say who the teacher was, but I mean, I tell this story to all my friends, so my friends know who this is. But I mean, I don't know who watches my videos, and I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm not gonna say the name. All I can tell you is that he was a guy. This happened my freshman year. And it was in my English class. I remember we were reading Romeo and Juliet, and since we didn't have like the books or anything like that, we had to read them. We had to read Romeo and Juliet in the class, and so we had our textbooks and we just read in class. And I remember I had this class, 5th period, so it was at the end of the day. You know, usually by that time you're like really tired, you just want to go home, you're kind of over the day, but like, you know, you still have to pay attention, so I get it. But this teacher is the type of teacher that is like really passionate about what he does and about teaching and about learning. Just really passionate, basically. He used to tell us a lot, like, guys, I know that it's 5th period and like it's the end of the day, but like I still want you to pay attention, which is totally understandable. But I was just so tired. Like, so tired. I'm pretty sure we were writing an essay at that time, and I was like working on that almost every day, and I was just like really tired, and I had to swim right before that, so I was just super duper tired. And I remember that while we were reading, I just kept looking at the clock because I was just like, oh, time is going by really slow, and I just kept looking at the clock, basically. So I guess, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess this was really extremely rude for me to do, to keep looking at the clock, which I understand where the issue might come from, but his anger was just, I don't know, out of proportion. We were reading Romeo and Juliet, we were all supposed to be listening, he was reading, and you were just following along. And so he stands up, and he like takes off his glasses, and he stands up, and he like looks at me dead in the eye, and he goes, I'm sorry, Valeria, but I think it's like really rude to interrupt someone when they're reading. And like he kept going on and on about how rude I was, that he was sitting there reading and I was just staring at the clock. But he didn't only tell me, he stopped the whole reading. Like, the classroom was dead silent, and he stopped the reading. He stood up, he was yelling, because he's a pretty, like, I don't know, he's that type of person that just like speaks really loud and it just comes off as yelling. Even like, he was angry, so it was even louder, and it was like he was screaming, you know? I'm just like I'm just terrified because I mean, I'm a pretty good student. Like, I don't get in trouble, you know? And like when these things happen, I'm just like terrified. I'm like, I'm really sorry. And then basically everybody looked at me, and I was just like, he just went off for like, I'm not even kidding you, for like 5 minutes just telling us like, this is rude, blah blah, this and that. And I'm just like, I'm really sorry. Like, I totally didn't mean to be rude. I was just really tired. I was just super like exhausted, and I just kept looking at the clock. And so I was just like, I'm really, really sorry. And I don't know, just because those kind of things don't happen to me often, like teachers don't really get mad at me. It was just like, I took it really personally that I went home and I just started crying because I was like, the way that he was looking at me, just because he was so passionate about kids paying attention and like kids like learning and stuff, he just got like super duper passionate. He was just like looking at me and yelling at me like how rude I was and how like extremely rude of me was to be doing that. And so I just went home and cried, and like I cried for a while, and I was like really scared. Like every time I see him in the hallways, I get really, really scared. Like you can ask my friends, like I'm terrified of this man just because he screamed at me. And this wasn't like the only time he did this. Like ever since the beginning of the trimester, like I could tell he didn't like me because I turned in one of the first assignments late because life happens and I wasn't able to complete it in time. And ever since then, he just like, he just looked at me as like a bad student, and like, I don't know, it wasn't, I don't know, I think he always had something for me, like I'm out to get you, Valeria. I was just really hurt, and I went home and cried. Like my teacher made me cry. And I will never forget that. Like, never forget that. And even I had like my friends from that class that were in that class, like after the bell rang, they were like, oh my god, that was crazy, like that was like wow, like I would cry too. And I was like, I know, I just want to go home and cry. The next one is kind of recent. This happened this year, sophomore year, and it was around winter time because I remember it was really, really cold. And so this day it was raining, just raining really, really hard. And I remember, I forget which class I was going into. I think I was going into, I'm guessing, world history or something like that. And I remember, this is kind of short, but it was just raining so hard. My shoes were really, really, really slippery. I was going into the world, like the history, the social studies building, and so I was walking in, and usually like the doors were usually like really, really wet around that area. So I was just walking, and I guess I was walking really fast, and I was wearing my Converse. I don't know if that has anything to do with that, but I walk in and I totally just like slip and fall on my butt, like completely just slip and fall on my butt. And it was like the bell had just rung, so everybody was like going into the classroom. And I remember one of my friends was like right behind me, and then I like slept, and he's like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yes. So I just didn't want to talk about it, and I just kept walking. But that was pretty embarrassing because everybody was like trying to get to class, and I kind of stopped like the crowd because I slipped on my butt, and it actually really, really hurt. It was like one of those typical like you slipped on ice, or like you slipped on a banana peel, like, and the fact that like, you know, it could have been around people that I didn't know, but like my friend was right behind me. And I just stood up really fast, and I just went to class, and I was just like, The next one is also pretty vivid for me. I'm definitely never, like, I think all of these stories that I'm ever going to tell, I'm never going to forget them. But this was like, I think part of the reason why my freshman year was just complete poop. Like, it was just, I hated freshman year. Like, freshman year sucked for me. But this takes place the first day of freshman year, first day of class, first day of high school, first day of everything. Like, it was a new chapter in my life. First day. So I had to wake up earlier. You know, usually like you want to get all pretty up and like, so I was wearing these shorts, a top. And so I'm in the car, right? And my mom's driving me, and we're on my way to school, and then I realized, oh my god, I forgot my schedule. Right now, like, I can look at my classes on my phone and stuff, but I didn't know that, and because I was a freshman, and like, why would I know that? So I was like, oh my god, where am I gonna go? Like, I'm in trouble, like, we have to go back. And I was on a pretty good like time schedule, so I was like right on time. So the fact that I was almost there, I had to make my mom go back home, grab my schedule, and come back. So by the time I came back, like, there was just a bunch of traffic. Like, we took the most busiest route. I was already running late. And so I remember we got to my school, and then I was like, Mom, we're not gonna have enough time for you to like drop me off up to the front. Let me just get out of the car right now and I'll just cross the street. All of the cars around us were also late, so all of the kids were like coming out of the cars. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess you can do it. And so I just get out of the car, like in the plain like street. I mean, it was stopped traffic. But as I get out of the car, I see like my other friends that are also late, so we just start all running like so we can cross the street and get to class. All I see is this police car pulled my mom over, and basically my mom got pulled over because I got out of the car, and apparently that's not legal or whatever, the way I did it and stuff. And I just see my mom, and I was gonna like go back and be like, yo, what's up? And then she was like, no, just go back to class. So I had to go back to class, and mind you, by the time I'm like barely at the front of the school, the bell had already rang. And my class was in the science area, which is all the way at the back of the school. So I had about 5 minutes to run to the back of the school, which by that time, like, it was my first day there. I really didn't know my way or like any shortcuts or anything like that. So I kind of just had to like find it, you know? And so I just go all the way over there, and I'm like running, right? And so everything's like everywhere. Like my bag is just like, blah, like just everywhere. And so I'm running to this science quad thing, and I find one of the yard duties there. And then I was trying to find my class because it was kind of hard to tell. And then I went up to her and be like, can you help me find my class because I'm pretty late? And she stopped me. She's like, oh, you need to go change your shirt. Like, your shirt is really inappropriate, right? And I was like, well, but why? Like, I'm not showing anything. It was just because I was running, and it was my shirt was going up because I was running because I'm late to class. Lady, the bell already rang. She's like, yeah, I don't really care. I was like, well, can I just tuck it in? Like, it won't show, like I promise. She's like, and she got really mad that I said, can I just tuck it in? And so she's like, no, you have to go to the office and change your shirt. I'm really sorry. So I was like, what? I was like already there. I already made it to my class. I just had to find it where, you know? She's like, no, you have to go back. And so I had to go back, change my shirt, which when I got to the office, they were like, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, apparently my shirt is too short. I need to change it. And they kind of looked at me like, what? Like, it seems fine. But usually they just trust the yard duty's word. So they just gave me a shirt. So this is already a really, really bad start, right? And so then at this point, I am about 15 minutes late to my class. And so I get into my class, and apparently, like, my class, there was something wrong with my teacher. I remember on my schedule there was my teacher's name, but something happened, like, I'm not really sure, she had to go into surgery or something like that. That I ended up having another teacher in the trimester. So I went into the classroom that I was told in, and then I had to get like help from another teacher, and they're like, oh no, your class had to get moved to another classroom, like this is a classroom that you're supposed to be in. And I'm like, great. Isn't that just great? And so I walk into the classroom, and then the new teacher just looks at me and she's like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I kind of just had a dress cut. And then she's like, oh, rough day, huh? And I'm like, yep. And basically that kind of kick-started my freshman year. How I got a dress cut on the first day. I was about 20 minutes late to class because I forgot my schedule and I got stuck in traffic. And by the way, that yard duty still to this day doesn't like me, because I remember, oh, this is another story, but she later then got me in trouble for the same shorts that I was wearing that same day, but she didn't get me in trouble for them back then. What? I can tell those stories another time. But I hope you enjoyed these story times. Hopefully I didn't talk for too long or didn't like mess with my hair for too long. I've been trying to like control that. I know, like, I remember when I was editing the other video, like my hair just kept switching sides because I just flip my hair around a lot, but I've been trying really hard to just keep them, you know. I hope you enjoy these times. I mean, these were all definitely so embarrassing, just because when I had to walk into that classroom with this really, really ugly t-shirt and really cute shorts and really cute shoes, and my hair was all done and everything, and I had to just walk into class like that, and everyone was like, that's the girl that was late to class on one day. And, you know, you would think that that's where it ended, but freshman year is filled with a lot of embarrassing stories, like a lot of embarrassing stories. So give this video a thumbs up for my stories, and if you want to see more things like this, I mean, I won't say that it wasn't, I'm not going to say that it was fun, remembering these things, but I'll do them for you guys for the videos. And yeah, this video is already getting too long. I've talked for too long, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.